Welcome to your channel, Dr. Gazavi. Economics and financial issues are very important. Let's go.
Do robo-advisors make us better investors? Ample evidence suggests that people make suboptimal decisions when they deviate from rational prescriptions. The mistakes resulting from deviations from the standard theory have been the focus of extensive research in behavioral finance, particularly in relation to investment decisions. For an overview, see Bhattacharya et al. 2012, and have been shown to lead to substantial reductions in returns. Therefore, researchers and policymakers are keenly interested in finding new ways to reduce mistakes and improve individuals' investment decisions. Recent technological developments in artificial intelligence suggest a potential solution, in that robo-advisors, i.e., systems designed to provide automated investment advice, provide an effective means to scale access to financial advisory services at low costs. Still, a widely open question concerns the role of robo-advisors in reducing investors' mistakes. Particularly, robo-advisors, in contrast to human advisors, underlie many design decisions concerning the user experience with the system, which may impact investors' take-up. Many companies that have introduced robo-advisors imbue them with social design elements, such as an avatar or a name, e.g., Bank of America's Erica, seemingly to make them appear more social. However, the effects of these social design elements on investment decisions are not well understood. While some research suggests that adding social design elements to robo-advisors, e.g., a name, makes them appear less credible, other studies have found a positive effect of social design elements on levels of trust towards the robo-advisor. Especially as the line between technology and humans grows increasingly blurred, we need a better sense of the relationship between industry efforts to substitute technology for human advisors and individuals' own economic welfare. In this paper we seek to answer the following research question: how do robo-advisors with social design elements influence investment decisions, and to what extent are they able to mitigate investors' behavioral biases? We examine the effects of robo-advisors on individual investment decisions in two consequential induced-value experiments, in which participants receive advice and interact with a robo-advisor. We examine investors' mistakes by focusing on the so-called disposition effect, that represents an observed empirical regularity by which investors exhibit a greater propensity to sell winners, compared with losers. In our experiments, the advice from the robo-advisor reflected a strategy aimed at maximizing expected profits and was adapted to each participant's portfolio allocation. With this experimental design, we can observe the effects of real interactions during a realistic user experience on participants' subsequent investment choices. For our experimental design, we adapt the main elements of Weber and Kammerer's 1998 setup, in which participants must make a series of incentivized investment decisions across multiple rounds. Point 1 In the first study, we test the effect of a robo-advisor on investors' disposition effect. In the second study, we test whether imbuing the robo-advisor with social design elements impacts investors' disposition effect as well as the mediating role of investors' advice-seeking behavior. To this aim, we implemented a robo-advisor with social design elements as well as a robo-advisor without social design elements. Point 2 The former had a name, communicated in natural language, and provided investment advice based on questions such as, "Can you help me?" or "What assets should I buy?" In contrast, the latter only allowed users to click on a button to display the investment advice. Note that the content of the investment advice did not differ between operationalizations. Point 3 To test for the mediation, we adapted the robo-advisor to provide investment recommendations either automatically or exclusively upon request. The main results are threefold. First, we establish a mitigating effect of robo-advisors on the disposition effect. This effect is mainly driven by investors' behavior in the losses domain, i.e., investors with access to investment advice from a robo-advisor are less reluctant to sell assets at a loss compared to investors with no access to investment advice from a robo-advisor. Second, social design elements of a robo-advisor increase the disposition effect. In particular, investors with access to investment advice from a robo-advisor without social design elements are less subject to the disposition effect compared to investors with access to investment advice from a robo-advisor with social design elements. Third, the effect of social design elements is mediated by the extent to which advice is actually requested. We provide evidence for the mediating effect by controlling for the endogenous nature of advice requests through the provision of automatic recommendations. We find that the effect of social design elements on the disposition effect vanishes if advice is provided automatically compared to advice being provided exclusively upon request. Our paper contributes to 3 strands of the literature. First, it contributes to the literature on the impact of artificial intelligence-enabled technologies on economic decision-making, particularly on their potential to reduce behavioral biases and increase individual welfare. Specific to the disposition effect, prior research has shown that implementing automatic selling mechanisms, or the use of a robo-advisor can improve financial performance, because they mitigate this disposition effect. Only few studies shed light on the role of the design elements aimed at improving users' experience in shaping investors' behaviors. As an exception, Friedman and Rangel, 2014, investigate how the presentation of information on past purchases and whether the information is made salient impacts the disposition effect. Our study focuses on the impact of robo-advisors and the extent they are imbued with social design elements on the disposition effect. As such, we document the individual welfare consequences of interacting with technologies imbued with social design elements. Such aspects become increasingly important, given that technological advances, e.g., advances in artificial intelligence, come with greater freedom for designers, and there is great potential, for both customers and firms, in improving our general understanding of the consequences of these decisions. Second, this study contributes to research pertaining the general effect of social design elements on customer behavior. We draw on the concept of computers are social actors, whereby people apply social heuristics, e.g., politeness, in their interactions with technology, to understand potential impacts of social design elements on investment behaviors. Our findings suggest that social elements may negatively affect investment behavior because they reduce the extent to which investors seek advice. Prior research suggests that investors who could benefit most from robo-advisors are less likely to request their advice in the first place. Our work enhances these findings by experimentally examining the drivers behind the observed reluctance of investors to seek advice as well as the subsequent economic consequences of their behavior. Third, this work also informs literature on the role of professional advice in improving investment decisions and more generally on the antecedents of advice-taking behavior in the context of human advisors. Among human advisors, previous research shows that clients prefer advice from advisors who appear accurate, trustworthy, and accessible. When it comes to digital advisors, we consider the influence of social design elements to determine how advisor representations determine investors' propensity to seek advice. Barham et al., 2018. Building on work related to individuals' motivations to seek advice, we propose and empirically test how design-related factors aimed at increasing perceptions of socialness could influence these motives and impact the utilization of advice from digital advisors in the context of investment decisions. The complexity of decisions that directly affect individual welfare, e.g., financial, insurance, healthcare, has increased in recent years, and improving decision-making represents a critical challenge for society. In complex environments, people can derive significant benefits from receiving unbiased advice that helps them make more rational decisions. For example, in a financial context, retirees often struggle to manage their pensions or contribution plans on their own. Advisory services might help both current and future retirees make more profitable investment decisions. Hence, the shift toward automation, facilitated through advances in artificial intelligence, could enable a broader range of consumers to access advisory services at a low cost, suggesting the vast relevance of understanding the effects of digital advisors and their design features. This goes beyond risky investment decisions, since automated advisory systems are being adopted across many different domains such as taxes or healthcare care. Moreover, automated advisory applications can increase customers' perceptions of the value of advisory services, which could translate into a competitive advantage for service providers that establish them. Our findings, highlighting how robo-advisors can facilitate difficult investment decisions and how social design elements influence consumers' perceptions of the advisory system and advice-seeking behavior, thus offer a step toward a better understanding of the benefits of new technological developments in terms of reducing behavioral biases that can impose substantial economic costs. Summary of control questions. Before the experiment begins, in the following you will see the correct answers to the control questions as well as brief explanations. Does your trading activity influence the price development? No. The prices are determined randomly. This means that prices are not influenced by your trading activity or the trading activity of other participants. Are the prices of the 6 shares determined independently? Yes. Each investment has a specified probability of increasing or decreasing in value at the beginning of the period. These probabilities are independent of each other. Suppose you buy a unit of the shares C, D and F in period 3 at the price of 96 and keep it in your portfolio until the end of the experiment. Does each of these units have the same probability of a price increase? No. There are a maximum of 2 shares for which the probability of a price increase is identical. By how much do prices rise when they rise? The price increases by 6% per period. By how much do prices fall when they fall? The price is reduced by 5% per period. Abstract. Investors increasingly can obtain advice from robo-advisors, artificial intelligence-enabled digitalized service agents. We study whether and why the provision of investment advice from a robo-advisor improves individuals' investment decisions. In 2 consequential induced-value experiments, we analyze the well-documented disposition effect, which reflects investors' greater propensity to realize past gains than past losses. We find that the availability of a robo-advisor reduces, i.e., mitigates, investors' disposition effect, Study 1. Moreover, imbuing the robo-advisor with social design elements, e.g., a name and the ability to communicate using natural language, negatively affects investment behavior, i.e., increases the disposition effect. The extent to which investors seek advice mediates this effect, i.e., investors ask for advice to a lesser extent from a robo-advisor with, compared to without, social design elements, Study 2. These results help advance our understanding on the benefits and limitations of artificial intelligence-enabled advisors for improving investors' behavior in the context of increased digitization of financial services.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to our channel. Economic and financial issues are very important. See you in the next video.